So I just came back from spending a whole month with one of my clients in the United States. Now, this is someone that I've worked with for 4 years, and I actually happen to have ownership in this company as well. This was something that required a lot of sacrifice. All the videos that you've been seeing for the last month were pre-recorded and scheduled to be uploaded while I was gone on the trip. And of course, it took a lot of him as well to really, let me into his daily life, his world, and fully be there and observe every little part of his experience, his moods, his energy, his behavior, everything down to the very last micro detail. And of course, this created some incredible breakthroughs, but it also really highlighted how important some of the most basic fundamental principles really are for living a fulfilled, happy, and accomplished life. And one of the biggest lessons that really came out of it, that really stood out to him, but also to me as his coach, was that you get what you put up with. Whatever you have in your life right now, whether that be in business, finance, relationships, you tend to have whatever you'll put up with. If you're not okay with making less than 6 figures, chances are you'll make over 6 figures. If you're not okay with making less than 7 figures, guess what? Same principle applies. If your relationship has to have a certain quality, a standard, a level of communication and depth and love and meaning, well then, guess what? You're probably going to meet that standard. And if your standards are low, chances are your experience will be also. So a lot of the biggest breakthroughs came from lifting those standards and just not being okay with anything that wasn't up there anymore. Just allowing yourself to say, hey, I'm not going to settle anymore. Being a demanding person sometimes makes us feel guilty, like we're asking too much, not only of the people around us, but of ourselves. And the truth is, you can't ask for too much. What is too much? What does that even mean? It's all objective. It's all just imaginary. Money is an idea that we all, as a species, happen to agree upon. But it's just an idea. It's just a bunch of numbers. So what's too much? And when it comes to relationships, what's too much to ask? How much love is too much love? And what even is love? What does it look like? So digging into all of that and really understanding that if you're not happy and fulfilled right now, chances are you're on autopilot and you're just sort of maintaining these standards that you already have that are pre-programmed in your mind and most likely have come from your parents, most likely have come from the people around you. So what would happen then if you made a decision and said, wait a second, I don't want to put up with this anymore. I'm going to set myself a new standard, a new baseline. Not a goal, not something for me to reach for, not some weird outcome in the future that one day I might have, a standard of what I'll accept from myself and from the people around me. And what if I no longer accepted anything that I didn't like? What if I was honest and authentic with myself and I said, this is what I want and I'm not going to settle for less. This is exactly where I'll be. This is my standard and I'm going to meet it. And you see, that's shifting from should or could to must. That's when you finally make your goals a reality, because you will not, so long as it's something that you should do, so long as it's something that you want and not must have, you're probably not going to do it. I mean, heck, nowadays, you'll see a book that's a must read and you probably won't even read that because it's not a must for you. So what is a must for you? What are your musts? Not your shoulds, what are your musts? And if you have a should that you really want, change it into a standard, a must, something that has to happen. It's not optional. You see, most people, they decide on a goal, decide on a vision for their future, and they go, well, this is something that I'd like to have. And it's almost like a wish list more than it is an action list. Make your wish list an action list. Ask yourself, this outcome that I want, this objective that I'm aiming towards, what action do I have to take to meet it, to fulfill it, to accomplish it and reach that goal? And the moment we shifted that, some crazy things started happening. All of a sudden, relationships improve. For the most part, not always, sometimes they break under pressure. But for the most part, improve a lot. Overall, performance, daily performance, energy levels, everything starts to go up because you set yourself this new standard and you realize, wait a second, I can't go below this now because this is my baseline. I won't accept anything below that. The moment that you start going below that, you rise back up automatically. It's almost like setting the temperature in the room. What happens? It gets a little too cold outside, the room starts to chill, the heating kicks on, right? And then what happens if it gets too hot? It starts to cool down. It's that simple. And us human beings have that same mechanism built into us. That maintenance, that sort of meeting the temperature that we've set. So what's your temperature? How high are you going to set it? How much do you demand of yourself, the people around you, all of your experiences? How much energy do you demand from yourself? You see, because if your energy demand is, I just want to get through the day, that's about as much energy as you'll have. But if your energy demand is, I have to feel alive, vibrant, overflowing with positive energy so I can impact people and make a difference, and that's my personal standard, well, all of a sudden you start showing up with so much energy and people are like, whoa, why do you have so much energy? Well, because I eat well and I take care of myself and I sleep. And you say, yeah, well, all those things, that's so difficult. It's not, because it's a must for me. So it's not difficult to meditate for an hour a day. It's not difficult to eat well. It's not difficult to exercise. It's easy. Anybody could do it. You could do it if only your standard said, this is what I'm willing to settle for. What are you willing to settle for? Whatever you put up with, you will get. That was one of those big lessons. That's one of those things that can really change someone's life very quickly, in less than 30 days. You'll sure feel the impact if you'll take that action, if you'll change your shoulds into musts, and finally, stop settling for anything less than what you really want.